Hey KU fans, welcome back to Allen Fieldhouse, site of today's 84-72 win over Oklahoma State. Kansas needed this one again. I feel like we just did this last Saturday.
Every time that we're in the Fieldhouse,
they need it.
They need it.
Well, they got it. 84-72 over, a bad record Oklahoma State team, but a tough, scrappy, fighting Oklahoma State team. I don't think that the Cowboys walked in here thinking, well, our record sucks and we're just going to lay down. I mean, they didn't.
Yeah.
It was tied at halftime. They showed some fight well into the second half, and then Kansas just too much.
Yeah, I mean, I just think like Mike Boynton does an awesome job with that group.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw it last year, and they've been shorthanded throughout this season.
Sure.
But they're competitive, and they're not going to just come in here and just lay an egg. So, I mean, credit to them for that. But KU had one of those, what was it, a 12-point run
right,
there in the second
12-0.
half. That's when they actually got some separation.
Sure.
I mean, they were lucky to be tied at halftime, honestly, because the offense wasn't going anywhere. Usually, Ochai Agbaji showed that he can nail some three-pointers. Did 3 there in the last
First
5
half,
minutes
yeah.
of the first half,
Sure.
and that was part of the reason that it was 36
all, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that in the second half, Dieter Glosson kind of came out with a little fire underneath him, and that got things rolling a little bit. He came out really aggressive. And I think it seemed like he probably got challenged a little bit at halftime by Bill Self, and that kind of helped ignite the type of effort I think everybody was waiting to see today.
Yeah, KU hit 11 of 29 from three-point range. Quentin Grimes got a couple. Diedrich Lawson made one. Abagi had 5. Yeah. So 11 of 29 is really good. You'll take that every game, and that this team can use that. Big thing about LeGerald Vick being gone. He wasn't here today, as you guys know. Big thing about him being gone was who's going to shoot threes. Well, then they go out and make 11 of 29.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and they got off to a slow start too. I mean, they were misfiring a lot early in the first half. That percentage just started going up in the second half because of the way that they finished the first half and closed out the game. So I credit to them for not being discouraged, kind of having that Devontae Graham mentality that they learned about before the Texas Tech game last week. Just keep shooting. I don't care what Bill Self says. Keep shooting if you're open.
If you're open.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that goes for Dotson. That definitely goes for Ochai and even for Quentin Grimes. I mean, he got off.
Terrible first half.
Yeah, bad first half. Badly missed a couple of three-pointers. But out of a timeout in the second half, they really got some separation when he knocked down a couple and just
2 in a row.
Yeah. So
and he looked more aggressive. He looked so sure of himself when he just plays with that fire. That I'm just going to let this fly and see what happens. He's still got to do more in other places. But yeah, if he could just be a knockdown shooter, that's going to help this team going forward. I thought the thing that helped most today was Mitch Lightfoot off the bench.
Absolutely.
He played 20 minutes, and you'd have to give him $1 million for every one of those 20 minutes. I mean, you don't have to. That'd be illegal. But I think that it was worth $1 million for each of his minutes. He fought today. He showed his heart, ripped open his chest and showed his heart. I mean, that's the kind of thing that this team's needed. There's been so much talk about leadership, right? And oftentimes people think leadership's vocal and demonstrative and this kind of thing. Well, Mitch Lightfoot was a leader today. What he showed was exactly what this team needed. 9 boards, 6 points, a couple of blocks, but more than any of the stats was just the mindset. The fact that when the biggest guy on Oklahoma State's team was going for a wide open dunk, Lightfoot said, no, I'm not going to let you do that. You might punch on my head, and I might be on a poster and on all the highlights for the rest of my life, but I don't care because I'm going to hit you, and I'm going to make it hard on you. The play in question ended up being a travel. It was a great play. The crowd loved it. They got to their feet, and his teammates loved it.
I didn't understand the travel. It was a travel before the
Before,
shot.
Yeah.
I was too in awe of the actual block that I didn't even pick up that the guy had traveled before that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it was just toughness plays.
That's it.
From Mitch Lightfoot.
That's the short version.
Yeah. I mean, like, those were coming on the glass. Those were coming in challenging shots. He challenged McGriff, ended up fouling him.
Right.
But I mean, a huge kind of a statement play.
Right.
And just kind of you're not getting any easy baskets.
That was it. He was asked about it afterwards, and Mitch said, no easy baskets. That's what Coach says all the time. And that is the mindset that this team has to have going forward. He can do that. He's not going to go get 25 points a game like Diedrich Lawson. He's
get 5 fouls again.
He did do that too. But he can do that.
Yeah.
He can set that tone, and even in his 6'8", 215, 18, 19 and a half pound body, he can set that tone against anybody in the country. So I think they learned that today. I think that was big. It obviously played a huge role. Self gave a great quote about it. He said, hey, he wasn't the best player, but he was the most important. And that was only the second best quote about Mitch Lightfoot today. Mike Boynton said, you know, you talk about all these guys, the Hall of Famers, the Wilt Chamberlains, the Paul Pierces. Well, Kansas has had a bunch of guys like Mitch Lightfoot help hang those banners too. That's pretty incredible. It's right on the money, and I think it shows a lot about Mike Boynton and his understanding of what Kansas is all about. That's part of the reason his team plays the way they do, is because he has that same mentality as Bill Self. They're cut from the same cloth. But a really good game for Kansas. Obviously, they were reeling. Shorthanded, Marcus Garrett didn't play again. Everybody's wondering, is it the end, is it the end, is it the end? And then they go and they play tough and they fight and they win a game they had to have. Any final thoughts?
I'm just curious if we're ever going to see them carry over something from a home win into the next road game. Because, I mean, I feel like we're just like, we keep having the same conversations over and over again.
It is like Groundhog Day.
Are we here or are we somewhere else? And that we already have the script of what we're going to talk about.
No doubt,
it's the same thing. So maybe it'll change at TCU on Monday night. I mean, maybe they'll play with that energy. Maybe they'll kind of try to be. Everybody will try to play like Mitch Lightfoot.
There you go.
And try to be a tough team who protects the paint and fights for rebounds. And I think we saw a little bit out of that from Grimes in the second half even. So I mean, everybody's capable of doing it. Everybody who plays in this rotation can make those type of hard-nosed plays if they want to. So it's just an effort situation. So those are the types of things you have to do to win on the road. And
no doubt.
Those 3-pointers have come in handy.
Yeah, that's not bad. I agree. I think it's I can't decide if it's good that Monday's so soon, or if maybe they would rather have 4 or 5 days to let this sink in. I feel like it's if I'm picking, it's good it's so soon. You just this would be fresh in your mind. You go do this at TCU, you got a better chance. We'll find out if they do. It'll be very interesting, though. They got to go find a way to win on the road somehow, some way, if they want to get to 15 in a row. But this was big. Got to hold serve at home. You've heard that a million years in a row. For Benton Smith, I'm Matt Tate. Thanks for checking out KU Sports Extra. KU wins at 84-72 over Oklahoma State. Now 18-6 and 7-4 in Big 12 play. Still alive. Talk to you guys soon.